Yay, thank you. Well, thank you so much for everybody that's hearing the edited version of this. You can finally hear it. I'm not insane. I'm not talking to myself. This is, and your name is, I want to say it right, Cockroach Hotel, right?
Cockroach Hotel, you can call me Tina, but Cockroach Hotel also works perfectly.
Well, great to meet you, Tina. Tina, I appreciate it. And it's great to meet you.
Woohoo! It's wonderful meeting you, and I'm so happy to be here. Should I introduce myself? Should I be like, who the heck am
Yes,
I?
yes, please do. Please do.
Okay, so I'm Tina, and my background is in urban planning and geography, and I've also worked in film production. And so for the last couple of years, I've been like a community organizer and urban planner, and I recently started working at York University in Toronto. And during COVID, I started getting involved in more metaverse spaces because it related to urban planning just in this
Yes.
virtual form. And recently, in the last year, sort of like playing around in Decentraland, meeting people, and I was like, oh, I should do a project on this. It's super interesting. There's so many fun, great, compelling people. And so I've been reaching out to people, chatting. I eventually want to put together a short documentary about it and the people involved. And so that's where I'm at in the process and who I am.
That's really cool. Wow, that's awesome. And it's funny that you say that too about the pandemic because that was really what I think brought a huge the first wave of a lot of people to the metaverse because we're all stuck, like we couldn't do anything.
Literally.
And yeah, it really opened everyone's eyes, and it seems like it has you yourself as well.
Oh, definitely. And it's just like such an interesting way to gather that like doesn't require like the same space as before, like how you meet people and how you interact. And I feel like a lot of people who are experienced gamers have been doing this for a long time, but now it's like more broad, like in the general public.
100%, 100%. And I think that's what kind of what you're saying there is big. I think with this metaverse in general is where it gives more border of entry to opportunity for people to enjoy gaming, not just competitional gaming. Like okay, there's shooters, like battle royales like Fortnite, and then there's MOBAs, and then the only thing that really kind of breaks that trend a little bit is Minecraft, where you can build. But things like metaverses, to me, I've started to notice with my time in the metaverse is that it's like brings more of an atmosphere of what I call from like the Sims kind of vibe, where there's a lot of people that used to love playing the Sims in the back in the day, but then it only went so far, and then they kind of just moved on. But they're like this, it's like hey, you don't have to be competing. There's a lot more opportunity, and it's I've seen not just Decentraland, which is obviously my favorite metaverse, but other metaverses that too I've seen really capitalize on that.
Yeah, how did you get involved with Decentraland and these other metaverse spaces? Like, how did you
The
get
central
here?
That's a good question. I came in a while ago. There's a picture I just tweeted of me posting we got our first Waifumon posted in the metaverse. Friends with Meta's Zoo, and they're great. Izu and Sango, they have this spot called the Meta Zoo, and they're one of the first venues that I knew that was outside. There's also DG Casino. This was 2019. This was like basically January around then was I started just becoming a fan. I was like, how I got involved was I was asking my friend, I said, hey man, is there a place where people can, because NFTs were just kind of becoming a thing that were a second wave of it. There was CryptoKitties, which I got a little bit involved in back in the day. I wish I got involved in CryptoPunks, but, I didn't understand it. And I regret that. But, it's like I was kind of, and I said, is there a place where we can, like, people can get NFTs, but they can wear it on their character, And he's like, yeah, dude, there's a spot called Decentraland. And I came, and this was like January 2019. And I came in and I was like, wow, this is pretty dope. But it was very small. There was just a casino, and then there was just there was a casino. There was which I was a huge fan of, and I played poker a lot in it. And then there was also the zoo, which is like my friend was trying to create a spot, which he did, and he's been doing it longer than me, and he let us he basically was like, I met him in the casino,
Mm-hmm.
and I met a couple other people, and I had a blast, and I spent a lot of money in the casino and had fun. And he goes, hey man, I love the waifumons. And he saw what I was doing, basically like I was parodying art, everything I saw. So like there was the poker dealers were like these robots, and I drew a waifumon based on that, and then I drew a waifumon. There's this one dude that I met, he was like totally into like crazy leather stuff, so I drew a waifumon dressed in leather, and then the zoo, she's like a zookeeper, and he's like, he let me hang it up on the wall, and I posted that. Like I said, that picture of that was in April, I think, 2019. And yeah, that's how I kind of got involved, and I had a lot of fun, and it was kind of cool to see our art, in the metaverse, just hung up on a wall. And that was a long time ago, and now since then we've grown over 100,000 owners in our collection, which to me is just,
Whoa.
yeah, insanity. Because I say this story a lot, so people that, I'm sorry for you guys in the stream, you guys hear me say this a lot, but basically it took me like 10 years plus to get like maybe one or two people to buy or take our CDs, my old band, and it was like a lot of work. And then but now it's like this waifu, all these waifumons, we just art that we do for fun, and it has this one song on it, and now it's like 100,000 people have them. So it's like the ratio of like the opportunity I think a lot of people are missing out on is this is like the Renaissance arts of our time, I think.
Mm. I totally like yeah, like there's like so much weird and wacky and compelling things being put together that it's like,
Oh yeah.
and a lot of people don't see because they might not necessarily be in these spaces or like engaged with these like different populations, but there's like so much hidden under the surface of these like metaverse universes.
110%. I think what's going on right now is like Web3 is going through its like punk rock phase,
Ooh,
where
yeah.
there's, yeah, yeah. I don't know if you're into. I mean, it sounds like you are because you're into film and stuff. So it seems like you kind
Totally.
of know what's going on. But there was like CBGB. There was like a bunch of underground
Yeah.
punk bands. And people were just kind of doing their thing. And it's like everyone doesn't really take it serious because it's kind of scattered. And then they see these people throw a ton of money at things, and then it doesn't work right away because it's hollow. It's like, oh, here's billions of dollars and let's build this. But then it's like, oh, but like let's make the border of entry where it's like a $300 piece of hardware, where it's like, well, some people in different parts of the world can't afford that. So it's like it's if you limit your barriers of entry, that's all about Decentraland. It's like, just here's the URL. Like I just sent it to them, they're in it. I could send you this URL. You can come join us right now, and you can be in the metaverse, and we can walk around and talk. It's like that's no barrier of entry, and I think that's what Decentraland is, the future.
Definitely. What is your dream for Decentraland and your like role within it? Like what would you like to see in the future?
The future. That's a good question. The future of Decentraland to me, like I think, is going to be like it's like either this or it's going to be like, okay, to make this more in Web 2 terms so it's understandable, it's like there's Google, there's like Yahoo. That's what metaverses are going to be for Web 3. It's going to be like Decentraland is going to be a Google, and then like Sandbox will be like a Yahoo, or maybe they'll be Google. It'll be places where people have multiple things going on within the thing. Like this right here is we put up every week, we work with the Decentraland DAO. Luckily they came through, and we have a lot of customers. They bought in our NFTs, so we can use those funds to build these fun courses, and people have a good time, and it's like an event. It's more of like a website, right? But it's more of like a personable type of experience. It's not just some text. It's like it's one-on-one. It's like you going into a store and meeting the shopkeeper, like literally meet, and you don't have to get in your car. So it's a different vibe. There's a lot of concerts that go on and stuff, and people have been experiencing and having fun with that too as well. That's been a huge blast. But honestly, I think the future, it's going to be huge. In terms of okay, well, people are like, well, people don't really like this stuff. Second Life exists. It's like, yes, those things are true, and I do hear those arguments. But the thing is like basically Sandbox and all these things, people are really totally utilizing the heck out of it. There's this other game called PKXD, something that you could check out too as well. They don't really call themselves a metaverse, but I consider them like could be one day a big metaverse, and they just have like tons of users on there, and people are just like collecting these objects to clothes and things for their houses, and it's going to be, I think, a place where people can really just spend a lot of time in, and yeah, it's like I said, right now it's in its punk rock stage, but I think long term there's going to be, how there's TikTok. It was just like a bunch of people just posting random stuff. But then there's going to be a lot of people posting things. I think it's going to be more like TikTok, where there's going to be influencers that kind of like, put their presence in the space. But I think the thing I love about it is there's no barrier of entry. Everybody could get exposure for whatever they're doing and be nobody. And that's what I think that's what's great about the metaverse. Just right now, like I said, we're hanging out with Rishi, we're hanging out with Infinite Wins, and a lot of people like watching them because they're really good at these courses now. Like they're always very present in the metaverse. To me, they're kind of like influencers in a sense, where people like to check out what they're doing and stuff. And there's another guy that streams too as well. I love him to death, JTV. I always see Rishi too as well, grinding at his games and killing it. So there's just a lot of really cool stuff that's going on, and I think the future is it's towards the beginning.
Definitely. And you're like one of these like early, like how did you become, I guess it's like I kind of asked like how you got into Decentraland, but what's kind of curious to me and really interesting is that you kind of have this whole like Decentraland like almost like persona and like little economy that you built. Like you're streaming on Twitch and you like have this really cool website and you're like selling these NFTs. Like you've like built this like little community and like little like your own little like industry in Decentraland.
Correct. No, I appreciate that. And Rishi says the new wearables coming out are really good too. Yeah, what Rishi says too as well. It's just there's a huge wave of people just creating stuff now, and that's why I love the high of that. And what you're saying too is like your view on kind of basically this kind of like we built an economy within an economy kind of thing. That's why I see this as more of like Google. It's not just like here's one game and a website. It's like no, this is a portal to a lot of other people's websites. Like within Google, people are searching up Facebook. They're going to different websites. There's going to like their news station website. There's a lot going on within it. So yeah, that's what I think I really love about metaverses is that it doesn't really like there's different metaverses, but the thing about Decentraland is that it gives a lot more freedom comparatively. Like I understand like Mark Zuckerberg's got a metaverse, which seems exciting, but again, it's a barrier of entry. You got to spend $200-300 on a VR headset. So, I can't really reach my fans or people that are friends of mine on there as much because they might not own the headset. So if he changes that barrier of entry, I think he'll have a lot more success with that because I see a lot of potential there. But the thing about him as well, it's like, okay, now you got to deal with all these rules and regulations, like, oh, we got to get this approved and that approved. And, that's what Sandbox has to deal with too, because they're a publicly owned company. Decentraland is like, here it is. It's there. It's like the internet. It's like here, create your site. If you create some illegal stuff, that's on you. You'll get arrested. It's a free pasture of green grass. It's like do whatever you want. And that's why we've been very blessed. It's like, and that's why for me, like I've been very lucky. Like there's a lot of other people too that are in this space, and I'll introduce you to a lot of them if you want. But really, I've been very blessed because like I came in early and I was a fan. Waifuman started off as a fan art of Decentraland and things I was experiencing in Web3 as I was learning, and then because of that, I think that's why people like Waifuman, because it's like they're just like me. We're just all fans of what's going on in this revolution, and it's expanded from that. So I think that if that helps describe, I think the kind of like why there's a lot going on with me within this thing.
Definitely. Yeah. You're like, I have all like my various interests, like you have all these like various interests and you're like, okay, I can combine them and work with it in this space in a very malleable way and kind of create what you want to create. I would love you to explain, like, maybe in your circles, people are familiar with what Waifuman is, but could you explain that? Like, I know what that is, but most people, I think, don't know what that is. Do you want to explain that?
No, of course. Hell yeah. It's hilarious, too, because I looked up in the last time we talked, and it was you hit me up in 2021,
yes,
so
yeah.
Even you were really early. Like, there's a lot of people I was talking to today on Twitter,
yeah.
and I was like, yo, bro, you're an OG. He's like, no, man, I've been here since May. And I was like, damn, like 1 month of the metaverse to me seems like a year.
You're like, yeah. What is time?
Seriously, right? But yeah, Waifuman, like, to kind of give, like, because it's a ridiculous situation, right? It's to me it's insanity, but it's really just to keep it like to get people understand why we have over 100,000 owners and why we have a lot of people collecting the stuff, to give some logic to them because they're looking at this art. Like I'll just send you just like our banner, and people are like, "What the hell, dude? This
Yeah.
is really dumb and cringe." But basically, I think just to sum it up, it's just art. We're just having fun. It's parody. It's just you're having a good time. Basically it's just fun art. We're creating. It's basically a lot of people see the vibe of like, oh, it's like this is just like girls and guys that are like with Pokemon, but it's a parody of that. And it's like, yeah, on the surface that's what it looks like, but if you look at the waifumon, a majority of them are not that. A majority of them are a lot of things that are going on. There's a massive amount of inside jokes. Like I said, the first waifumon ever created, and I'll pull that up too, was basically off. There was a robot poker dealer in Decentraland, and everybody used to like hate it because it would smile at you and you'd be losing a lot of money, and even when you lost a lot of money it kept smiling, so people would get their characters and they try to punch it. They get really mad, and I'll admit I was one of them, but I created a waifu one that was like, all right, what if this was like more of a pleasant, like if it was a more of an attractive anime girl with a smile, like you couldn't punch it, like it's not something you could do anymore. And that's what I think was started it. So I drew the waifu one as a joke. It was a fun thing. We had a good time and a good laugh, and then we started drawing it on based on other people, and then it just became, that's what it became. It became its own thing. One of the biggest events I remember early on. He's another streamer, JTV. He as well was trying to really hit the metaverse hard. He was doing a lot of events and builds, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff too. I don't know if you know about him or not, but him and me had a stream, and I created before. I didn't even tell him. I just like kind of blitzed him with it. I created a waifu one based on him. So it's funny because he's a guy, and he's kind of like he's a really techie type of dude, and he's very smart. But he didn't know how to express what was going on, because I sent it to him. I said, "Hey man, I made this waifu one based on you. We're going to give this NFT to everybody watching the stream." And everybody thought it was hilarious because it's like, this dude that's pretty dude type of dude, and it's like now this girl, it's like a girl that's dressed up like him, and it's a joke, and everyone thought it was hilarious. And that's like kind of the whole thing. It's like we're just having fun with it. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and I think that's what the whole point of Waifumon is. People like that. They like the vibe. They like the fact that it's just like we're not really like basically the reason why we have so many owners is because it's like, and people like it. It's because it's like we're not asking like, oh, there are only 10,000 of them, and there's $200 per person, and then they're going to resell for 80 million, or $80,000 or 100 million. It's just like it's too crazy when people do that. Us is very simple. It's like we give out free ones every month, and also you can buy the unique ones, for $9. That's it. It's $9 each. And to me, I found that's been our biggest success, because it's like okay, I buy it $9, I have a good time. If we make money on it, hell yeah. If not, I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? It's like it's not as much of a risk. It's more of a fun situation. So then when people do make money on it, it's more of a fun experience. It's not just a very like, I'm putting my life savings on a JPEG and then, and then my world just crumbles down. So I think that's what we've had. That's kind of where Waifu got its start. And now it's like become this whole thing where like basically we let the community decide what they want to do. So right now, like I said, we're doing the weekly events in Decentraland. That's what everybody wanted. That was from us in the Discord discussing what we wanted to do, because we just like, Waifu when we like doing stuff. And with the weekly events, it's like we all love going to Decentraland, but we want to like do more. So we want to try different courses, different things. So now we have Waifumon based on the courses. So now they're like parodying within the parody, and I think that's what kind of draws people to it. So yeah, it's not a serious situation. It's just more fun, and that's, I guess, just the pitch of Waifumon. Sorry for anyone that was hoping that I had some type of secret business deal that would make them millions.
So you invented the Waifumon?
Yeah, are you asking if I invented the Waifumon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Heck?
It was an invention, I guess.
I did not know that. Wait, that is so cool. So I guess it's essentially like a walk, like it is a meme, like it is like an actual, like an NFT sexy meme, kind of.
Correct. Yeah, it's like it's kind of even become its own verb. So if it's like, if I Waifumon you right now, right, and you can either tell me things that you like, right, or just based on looking at you, we would make it a sexy thing, but a funny sexy thing. So it could be like a really buff looking Pokemon that's dressed in your clothes, right? Or it could be just like a sexy chick, but it's like kind of like funny, like with yours you had soundproof walls, so it would be like a ton of like maybe microphones and soundproof stuff, and it's like muffling the ear, just kind of just taking what we learned from each other, and we're kind of using it and the kind of exaggerating the parody of it to make it more fun and comical than serious. If that makes sense.
I love it. I literally, so you like do the graphic design of all of these characters?
So the answer is yes to some of them.
Okay.
The issue is now we have over 100,000. Okay,
Holy
so
shit.
so I couldn't. There's no way I can't do them all. So we have now a team that has helped with the assets, especially because there's literally hundreds and hundreds of different types of outfits. We have a bigger team now. If you go to waifumon.com, you can see how big of a team we are. There's a lot of artists, and everyone. I'm pull it up right here. And yeah, so it's like for me, like I'm really good at some of the ideas, and I'm good at clothes. But I'm not good at faces. Like my faces are really bad. I don't know. Before you came on the stream, I was drawing like a really funny pumpkin, and I just like because we're doing a pumpkin carving right now. Yeah, it didn't. The face is not the greatest.
That's
So,
beautiful.
but so, yeah.
That's beautiful. Sonic, watch out.
Right. So yeah, I've just pulled it up here on the screen if anybody wants to see it. There's a lot of some of our artists, like I said, Kit right here. She's great at doing the expressions and the faces. We got Olasandra, if I'm saying her name right, Alexandra. She's really good at doing the different types of outfits. She's done a lot of the Castle Crew Princess outfits. Arifa, she's really good at doing like the type of jewelry and stuff like that, and also clothes too. And there's a big list of people in here now. We've kind of grown a lot. And yeah, so I really shout out to all of them too as well. And especially, and just one other shout out to Joe Fred. He is just super fast. Like right now, we have a there's Metaverse Festival that's coming up. We got basically Ozzy Osbourne, Soulja Boy. All these people are going to come out in one couple of days, and they're going to do big concerts. And we're doing a Waifumon based on all those because we're working with. I just reached out to LimeWire literally 2 hours ago, and they said that they might be down to give a Waifumon to everybody that comes to the concert because they just he's like already like getting a bunch of it done. Like he's already drawing like a bunch of the props for it, and so I just shout out to some of these people because they're just really fast.
Whoa, that's awesome. How did you come up with the name? Like, is there a story behind this name?
That is a great question. So how do we come up with the name? Basically, the name is it's just two words combined. So it's like, I don't know if have you ever heard of the word waifu or no? Okay, cool. That's interesting. So if you Google the word waifu right now,
yes,
and you put definition, let's pull it up. Waifumon definition, and I'll read you the definition. Waifu is used to refer to a fictional girl or woman, usually, and this is in anime, manga, or video games that you have sexual attraction to, or even would marry. And it's just like a weird, like, it was like a whole joke, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, where people would be like, oh man, you love cartoons so much, you want to marry the cartoon, you have no life, you're a loser, you just care about waifus. So we took that kind of like cringe, like type of like insult, and we kind of like made it as like a pro. It's like, so what, I love my waifus, I like my JPEGs, I love my buff Charmanders, I love my that look like Vin Diesel, I love my sexy girls that are dressed up like a goblin, whatever, like who cares, and we've kind of just ran with that. And then Waifumon, the mon part is like a monster, so it gives us no limitation. It's like it could be whatever, it could be disgusting looking, it could be funny looking, there's no limit.
I love it. I love an origin story, and like it's kind of like when you're reading a dictionary and they're like, this is the origin of this, and opolis means city, and this is the origin of this. You're like, and these are the words that I put together to create the Waifumon.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's pretty funny, especially coming from the seriousness of this, which is none.
Yeah, you're like, this is my Latin root word of waifumon.
You're like, how the heck do people take it this serious? And it's really, we just got lucky because I was like, there's no way that waifumon.com is available. It's just not possible because it's such an easy word. It's like, especially people that are into like Pokemon, which is like, I think in itself an origin of people like a lot of collectors come from baseball cards or Pokemon cards. or Yu-Gi-Oh, and to me, I'm like, that fan base totally understands what we're doing, and some of them don't, right? There's a lot of haters on Web3, like hardcore. I tweet a lot about of the people that say some really nasty stuff to us when they find out about it, but everybody else laughs at it because it's like, dude, you're really like taking serious something that we're not, like you're getting really mad at this little cartoon that we are just having fun drawing. So but the whole like you said, you're making a joke, which is funny, like the Latin roots. It's like, yeah, to the people that understand the term, the slang term waifu, and then mon, they get it right away when they see just the word alone.
I love that you know and are like so not like how like crazy and silly and weird like you're like, yes, we know that it is ironic, we know that we're like putting this thing out there that's like crazy and a parody because it's like, yeah, I think when people see it they're like, oh yeah, it's sincere, and you're like, no, like we are like, we know the joke. Like, do you
Yeah.
know the joke?
Yeah, we get it, and we're just having fun because I think that was like what was kind of missing towards the beginning, and I think that's what always is missing in terms of innovation right now. Because right now, like, let's face it, like, again, just coming back to the very beginning of the conversation, it's like, over 100,000. Even now, I think we're reaching 110,000 owners, right? Individual people that own these things. For that to be possible is just wasn't at all possible years ago. And so it's like, but the problem is a lot of people get really, I don't know what the deal is, but like, when the car came out, when the internet came out, when, basically when fire came out, right? Everyone gets, there's some people that get it and they use the technology, and there's other people that get really mad about it, and they think of ways that to say, oh, that's this dumb for that, oh, hip hop's just a fad, they have these things that they say and they get really upset and it causes conflict. If you see any posts that we take on, because Twitter understands, it focuses, Decentraland understands, it focuses on people, we all get the community, we all get the joke, we all have a good time. But outside of that, it's like there's a lot of backlash, and there's some people that get it and some people don't. But I think if when you take things more lighter and just have a good time with it, then it's like, you can't, the person can't get mad at it too long. It's like we just end every debate. It's like, dude, like this is literally a JPEG of just a parody funny drawing. Like we can take this debate forever, but let's be real. This is what it's about. And when you simplify it down to that, I think people just kind of laugh and they go, you're right. This is not a big deal. We can calm down. This is not the end of the world. And I think I've been blessed because I've learned a lot, like through my experience with back in the day when I was basically homeless and I was like working at bars and I was trying to figure things out, and then I got the opportunity. I can send that video too as well, where I got the opportunity to work for this company at the time was Uber, and they were just coming out to two cities. They were just very small company. And I came with the challenge of, there's two things that we're taught when we're young. One is don't ever get into a car with strangers, and two is never to take food from strangers. And I had to personally figure out a way to fight that programming to give people free rides to Uber so they can try it out, so they can learn this new technology. So it was a very tough experience, and like I got a lot, like I got in fights, I got cops pulled guns on me, a lot of crazy stuff happened and went down. But through that experience, I learned that people just, no matter how good of an opportunity is, they give you backlash for it. So this is like, I had more of an opportunity just to have fun. And then so it's like now we're introducing new people to the technology, but it's having a more fun experience than a more of an intense experience. So if that makes any sense.
Yes. It's also just this explainer you just gave me is like a window into, like, you've led a crazy life. I'm like, wait, what? You're like, oh yeah, don't mind my like whole Waifumon company here. Also, before this, I was homeless and working at a bar and trying to work for Uber. I'm like, wait, what? Can we backtrack here, Aaron? I'm like,
Definitely,
wait.
anytime. That's hilarious.
Can you give me like a little like story behind that?
Yes, of course. Sorry, we're all migrating to baby dolls. But yeah, basically, long story short, basically, again, I'll kind of sum it up. I was in LA for a while. I was working a bunch of jobs, just trying to figure out ways to make ends meet. And I wanted to become a music promoter, and I got a couple of nights that had like no name DJs, but I had to figure out how to pack the bar. And it was a big challenge. Have a good night, Infinite Wins. Have a good night, Infinite Wins, and have a good night, Rishi Girl. I'll see you guys at Baby Dolls. I'm gonna head there right now too as well. Basically, like, so it was a tough challenge, but I got lucky because one of my friends introduced me to Uber. And they're like, hey man, this new startup in San Francisco gives people rides. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. And I looked at the app and it said free ride if you give your friend a free ride, you get a free ride. I was like, oh, that's sick, like, oh, that's dope. And so all I decided, I was like, all right, this is perfect. I'm gonna get a bunch of Costco vodka bottles, and I'm going to say to the club, hey, can we give like 2 hours of open bar, and I'm going to give people free rides to the club and free rides back. And they're like, that doesn't exist. It's not possible. But I said, well, these two apps that just started off, one's called Uber and Lyft. And I said, they're going to give, and I'm just going to put on the flyer, free ride there, free ride back. And I'm going to have my promo codes. And they're like, whatever, man. They thought I was just crazy. And so we did it. And then huge success, and I got a lot of people to come to the club, and it was a great little like direction for me. But then, long story short, on my app, I got like $10,000 worth of free ride credits, and they started racking up. And then I got hit up by Uber, and they're like, "Dude, what's going on?" And I just told them, I explained to them what we're doing, and they're like, "Oh, cool. Do you want to just get paid per new user instead of the credits?" And I said, "Yes, of course. I'd love that." And that's how I started the marketing company, and I started learning a lot more about apps and the technology and everything, and that just kind of basically how I got to that point. And now we got really lucky. We got really big. Drizzly, DoorDash, Postmates, Saucy, Airbnb, all those became clients of ours, and I grew a company from that. So it's been a lot of fun, and I learned a lot about that. And I've been very blessed. I've learned a lot from that experience. But now, like I said, now I see this Web3 opportunity here, and I think this is the next to me, because everyone says Web2, Web3. Those are like the things that they talk about. But honestly, there was a Web 2.5 that people are missing, and that was the app wave. And I think a lot of people don't talk about it because it wasn't really open to the community as much. It was more enclosed, and people, it was kind of underground. And then these apps all became $billion companies. But to me, that was that Web 2 experience that I took in, and I'm seeing this Web 3 thing is a huge thing, and I have a lot of fun. It's like I want to be here. I'm having an experience that I just want to keep growing, and so that's why I think Decentraland was really a big part of that, and NFTs obviously as well was a big part of that. And so that's why, yeah, I'm sold on it, and that's why I spend too much of my dang time in this thing, and I'm using those skills I learned from those things into Web3.
Wow, that's great. That's just such a crazy story arc that you're like, I'm moving to LA and it's so hard. Well, I don't know. Are you from LA, or did you just move there to do music stuff?
So because you're into film too as well. No, yeah, I just moved to LA. I didn't at the beginning. I was very blessed at the time, because I had like this thing. I had a job that I thought I had lined up, but then when I got there, it didn't work out. So I was just there with, I had like, it was sink or swim, I was like, I didn't really have much time to kind of plan, because I thought I had that. It was literally, the irony was, it was the club that I ended up working at later on with these opportunities with. They said, oh, you can be a busser, you have no experience, no problem. And I came and they were like, no. And I was like, oh man, and I just figured it out. And I kind of became like, the marketing company became like the success that helped me stay. But yeah, it was a sink or swim type of situation, and that's basically my story with LA. It's a little wild now at post pandemic. I'm going to be honest, but yeah, that's my LA story.
Were you so stressed before this happened? I feel like I would be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So nervous and down and I don't know. I'd be like, what am I doing?
Well, I got to tell you, you're telling me that you've done a lot of film stuff, so you understand stress.
Oh,
You
for
understand,
sure.
yeah, you understand deadlines. You understand putting in a social situation, and yeah, it's of course, yeah, it was a phenomenal amount of stress and figuring things out. Like I said, the opportunity, because what I found in life, there's a couple things. It's just like the best opportunities are ones that you create. When you go to LA, everybody wants a job. Everybody wants to be the waiter, bartender, because they want to be an actor. They want to be, a PA. They want to be working on sets. They want to be in music. Everybody wants that gig that they can just do part time, so then they can go to the other gig. So there isn't any jobs in LA. Like if you're moving to LA and you're expecting to walk to places, I'm going to save you the trouble. I spent weeks walking to all across the entire city, from Beverly Hills to Venice to downtown to K-Town, like everywhere, just walking in with them, following up. Nobody wants to hire anybody there. And I was like, well, we got to figure out a solution. I just kept, thinking of new opportunities. And then that Uber thing came up, and it was basically just really just an opportunity. It was, the clubs, they were not paying. They're like, dude, you have these events, you can have them. but it's like the only money you make is the money that you bring in. And so, that is really hard. It's like nobody wants to go to a party in LA because one, they're invited to the best parties with the best celebs, so they don't care, or two, they can't afford to go. They're working 5 jobs, so it's a really tough challenge on that front as well. So anybody that's moving to LA or any new town, just really try to yes, just with same with Web3. Yes, there's opportunities. You might be able to get a job. You might be able to get an opportunity, but just letting people know the most lucrative and the more stable opportunities are ones that you create for sure.
Wow. I'm like amazed that you're like, I've done this and this and this, and now here you are like in this like metaverse web3 environment, and you're like, yeah, I'm still pioneering over here. I'm still like being so industrious and figuring it out, and like spending all of this like time on the internet to like research these things and live stream. Like, are you like a very, like, you sound like a very like active doing everything person. Like, what is your like day to day?
No, that is a good question, and it's kind of funny because yeah, it's I think there's a lot of people. I think now more than ever these days, more kind of like me, where they just really just get obsessed of just doing things and trying new things out. Because it's kind of like a surfer type environment, but it's more meta in the sense of like you're surfing new industries and new waves. And there's just a lot of opportunity. Like yes, I'm very blessed to have the marketing company. I still run that. But the thing is just I see a lot of green pastures here and a lot of potential over here, and like I said, we're doing with the wife mom thing was something I couldn't have planned. Like it happened, and it's like you can just go, okay, make a couple fan arts and say that was fun and just move on. But it's like, why not? If it's something that you enjoy and something that you love, you just keep doing it and you just keep having fun with it. I mean, like again, I had this like a couple followers on Twitter, and it just checking things out. And now I have like I think 10,000, 15,000 followers on Twitter, and I have like a lot of owners, and it's like, and I have a lot of friends now, a lot of people in the community. Like just today, this is like really sad, but I was spending like a lot of today like talking to a lot of people in the metaverse and different Twitter spaces because there was a lot of drama going on with the Decentraland and DAOs and things like that, and people were debating on different new ideas of we can do this or that, and I was just like, dang it, I got to stream like in half an hour. I have to get ready for this because I was doing this other thing, and it's just time goes by so fast because you're just involved in a lot of things, and there's just a lot of things to be involved in. So yeah, I think it's just if anybody's that's interested really, or they're kind of lost and they want to kind of find something going on, definitely check out the new things that are happening. Like I said, with me with the metaverse or with Web 2.5, with the apps, that was a blessing for me. Now I'm seeing a lot of opportunity for a lot of people with Web 3 that I think, again, a lot of people are missing. Like the whole, like just in general of, like I said, people are purchasing art, people are purchasing music, but there's also a lot of demand for build. People want to expand. Just to give you guys some stats with Decentraland, they have a $40 million DAO, and basically what that means is it's a bunch of money that's sitting in an area saying like, we want this money to be invested in making the Decentraland a better game, a better community, a better metaverse, so we can stay on top. And it's like, you pitch us what you want to do and how much it's going to cost, and the community will decide if they want to do it or not. And then if you do, then you get the funding and you can spend the time with your team, and you guys can use that money and grow and build things. And it's just this is an unprecedented time that we're living in right now, and it's these kind of things don't really happen to some people's whole life. So these are definitely opportunities that people got to at least try, at least check it in, have a good time, go to some of these metaverse events, have fun, learn some, collect some, like I said, some of these NFTs are free. Go to my Twitter every day. I'm giving out free NFTs. Get some free NFTs, have fun with it. Just check it out. And then worst case scenario, you just say, what am I doing? This is your JPEGs. Get out of my life. You're done. You move on. But just give it a shot, because I'm just telling you right now, I see a lot of my friends, and I'm helping them, and they're helping me, and we're just all trying to grow together. And I think, yeah, there's opportunity here. So I think that's what's keeping me driven, is I'm seeing all this going on. I've been down this road before with Web 2.5, and I'm like, yo, this is a good time to be alive. So definitely check it out.
For sure, it's like when new things are like the thing that like invigorates you, you're like gonna jump from like thing to thing and try it and like spend the time to like be in that space and like learn as much as you can. And it's like I think learning is never a like lost time. Like whether you like make money or not, like no one can ever take your education, your knowledge, and it will benefit you in the future no matter what. Like I'm like totally for that.
A
What
thousand percent.
you commented, like something that's really interesting to me that you mentioned in Decentraland is the DAO. Like I think it's one of the most interesting parts, this like governance space that's run by the community, and there's all these like politics within it that are really fascinating. Do you want to like speak to that? Your like experience in the DAO and like your thoughts are like part it like mirrors real life in a way. Like it is kind of like a city council, but it also is different than quote unquote real life.
Oh yes, oh yes, and I think that is another technology within this technology that a lot of people are like they're not seeing it. They're dropping the ball on it. I think the future of the I think the DAO is going to be something that's going to be just one of these things that is going to just across the board, all companies are going to start utilizing down the road. Basically, like just to put it, okay, it's for people that know nothing about the metaverse or don't care about NFTs. This is my pitch to you with the DAO. Imagine Netflix, right? You're paying a $10 monthly fee to Netflix, and they get to choose whatever they want to do with your money, right? They're like, we're gonna make whatever we want to make shows, and if you have to like them or leave, that's it. There's no discussion involved. There's no. It's just there's a middleman, and it's just you have to do the gamble. The gamble is, we sure hope they like these videos that we decided that we're gonna put money in, right? What a DAO can do, with just something like with Netflix, where it's like Netflix says announces they're spending 100 million on new content, 200 million on new content, 2 billion on content. Well, instead of them just having a bunch of people pick what things they think the people will want, they'll just say, we this year we have $1 million we want to spend on new content. Pitch us, and the people will vote and decide what they want the money to be spent on, and that's how it works. I think that right there, whatever streaming service, like I said, I would love to do that. It just takes a lot of money. That is the future. That is going to be, those people are going to win, because why? How could they not? If everyone is voting on what they want, things they want their money to go to, why would somebody pay somebody else to choose for them? And I think that's the future of the DAO. That's my explanation to somebody that doesn't understand anything about the DAO. And I can go into detail right now with basically Decentraland. Decentraland has really kind of led they're one of the first DAOs, and they've like led the trail with this. They're like, here's a metaverse. We're selling land. We're selling coins. We got the money in the bank. Now it's like, could be anything. You want to make this a shooter game? You want to make this like, we have our weekly waifu want to, like mazes and challenges. You want to whatever, think of whatever you want. You want to make this a MOBA. Right now I'm hanging out at Dollhouse, which is led by the great Canessa and Baby Doll's fam. Tango, shout out to Tango Poco, shout out to Canessa, shout out to Sinful. We got Billy T Coin, NFT Bubblegum, Emeros, a lot of other people here all hanging out every Wednesday, just right after our event. They have an event, and it's just, they have a DJ, and everyone comes here and parties and shows off their metaverse wearables, and everyone just communicates, has a good time, and has a blast. And it's just like that. Then it's like, okay, what if people enjoy this? Let's fund this. Like, pitch it to the DAO, and we can expand it or not. And that's what I think. That's like, it's like letting the market decide. Literally, the market gets to decide. I think is the, like, it's the future of just really anything. And right now, we're very blessed to be a part of this, because we're like the first kind of pioneers, as the word you said, of experimenting with this situation, and how this works, because we're blessed, obviously, with the Decentraland team that, sold the land, sold the mana, and then we raised the money to do this. And even I have been blessed, or I pitch a lot of things to the DAO, a lot of things get turned down, obviously. Like I want to be real to people. You're not going to just pitch something and it doesn't. I pitched a lot of stuff and it didn't turn down, but a couple of things I have pitched have worked out, just like the weekly courses, and it's being funded by the DAO. So I think there's a lot of things that can be funded, that can grow things that will make more benefit to more people, and again, the Decentraland itself. And I think that's what's going to lead this metaverse long term. And I think that's what's going to be not just metaverses, but I think when people start to really see what's going on, I think most companies are going to do that. Like McDonald's, they're going to be like, we got $10 million. We're going to spend on getting a new collab or a new sandwich. What do you guys want? And then they get to decide. And of course, they're going to buy. They're the ones that decided. So I really think that right there, that technology within the technology alone is huge.
Hmm. That's so interesting that you think about it in terms of like comparing it to these like private companies because I never thought about it like that. Like I always thought about comparing the DAO to like current government entities and like how those operates and the similarities and differences there that I've never thought about it in terms of this like financial way where it's like okay, it's like we're thinking of Netflix or we're thinking about McDonald's. Like you're thinking about it in more of this like privatized way, which I'm like, oh, that's like a really interesting perspective to have on it. Because I'm always like, oh, governments, like that is like a public entity. But for you, you've kind of like
Correct.
switched like the allegory there, which I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. What is like decentralization to you?
Decentralization is, I would like it to be as much as what the word defines it. Obviously, with people, nothing is perfect, right? Just like you're saying earlier with Paul, like there's a lot because the Decentraland DAO and the Central community is still very new, in my opinion. It's starting to come across some of these speed bumps where people are starting to pitch things to centralize it more. Which the irony of it is hilarious because the name of the freaking metaverse is called Decentraland. So it's like, hey, we need more people to oversee this. We need people to do that and this and that. And it's like my dream would be for it to be as pure as the word in all cases, because I think when the second we start having all these people do things that are anti-decentralized, when they're being, hey, we're centralizing this, we're overseeing this, there's these people that are gatekeepers, that these people that are, that are doing this or that, overseeing this, I think then it's like, then it's you get a problem situation. And like I said, everyone has their opinion on politics, but we're talking about now government politics. I think that's what has been the issue for so many years now with our current system of governments now, is that there's just so bloated and there's so many people doing so many things that only benefit them, and not the people. And if you look back at the beginning of America, it was again a bunch of these pioneers that were just thrown on this plot of land. And we can talk about either the people that came from Europe, we can talk about the people that came from the Bering Strait theory, that came and they were Aztecs and Mayans or whatever. It doesn't matter what direction you came in. These people all came in here and they had like very minimal rules and regulations because they were just too worried about survival. And that's when things kind of were more decentralized, and they created some rules and stuff to create a good society, but things were more fluid back then. But I mean, obviously they were like, okay, both of those tribes, whether it be like the people that came from the Bering Strait or people that came from Europe, I don't care where you came from and what governments you guys had, when things started off early, there was a small group of people that ran things that they could, but most people did what they needed to do. Taxes weren't as high, right? And so over time, when things become centralized, I think that's when it becomes something that people don't want to be involved in as much. And I think that's where my goal to things, you asked me the word, what is the central, and I think that's the word. The word is to keep things more about the people and what the people want, not necessarily what this person wants because they've been in this position for X amount of time, if that makes sense.
Definitely. And it's like, I don't know, it's interesting to hear your thought on it because everybody has such different kind of ideas on what the word means and what the word means for them, that it's not just like one theory or it's not just one definition. There's like all these different parts to like what decentralization means and like different parts and reasons for why people want to go down that path. Like I think you kind of mentioned, you're like, oh, in the current government structure, like people don't have a lot of agency or a lot of power to make decisions. And so that this universe in Decentraland is like a place where you can like have a say. Do you feel like it's kind of like that for you? Or maybe I'm like not at all.
No, no, no. 110,000%. I totally agree with what you're saying, and that's kind of my perspective. Because you're right. A lot of people, like said, we haven't just today. We had a lot of debates going on in different Twitter spaces about different things, and everybody, and that's clear to me. A lot of these other people have different definitions of what they think decentralized means, and that's totally cool. Everyone's right to their opinion. But that's what I love about decentralized. It's like you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. What I love about just and let's just talk about the technology of DAOs again. What I love about that is that basically, again, it's like you're telling, okay, right now we have an election coming up in the United States, right? What is our incentive to vote? Really nothing, because we, like, some of us have theories that the elections are already picked, right? It's all just a smoke show, or if not, we have one out of how many millions of people that live here. So you feel like, it doesn't really matter what you vote for, because most people are going to vote for what they want to vote for because of the situations that they have, and it's just kind of like, and it's like, oh, I want to pick this person or this person, right? And both of those people, you know, let's face it, if we look deep down on what their actions are, it's going to benefit them more than what we, get out of it. So there's not really an incentive to vote, in my personal opinion. Yes, of course, I'll go out and vote, right? You want to do what you want to do, and a lot of people have their opinions, and I want them to vote if they want to vote. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm comparing it to voting in a DAO or something else. And the reason why I have more incentive to vote in a DAO, because it's like, I know this person, I know these people, right? Let's just take an example. Right now, I'm here at Dollhouse, right? We just finished our Wife on Wednesdays. Now I'm here at Dollhouse at this event. We got the great Kness, great Sinful, right? And the Baby Dolls team, Tango is here as well. A lot of girls, for Fernan, everybody, Mods, Nurko, Girl with Girl, Old Guy, Easy Tiger, Shareberry, everybody here. I know these people, right? And I know they've been working hard on putting great events, and they hit up the DAO and they say, hey, we need X amount of money, like 60 grand. We're going to do these things with the 60 grand to grow the game. We're going to do this. And to me, it's like, it's a no-brainer to vote for that, because I'm like, hell yeah, because I know I've seen these people do these things and it works, and I understand the game. I know the people. I have more invested in it in terms of my time, and I get it. And I think, oh, if they succeed, they bring in more people, then even more people will check out us here, with our Waifuman stuff. So it's kind of like a bunch of different cliques coming together, helping each other out. So there's just more investment. If you're just a player and you're just having fun in Decentraland, you having more investment into wanting to vote and things too, because it's like, oh, the Decentraland DAO wants to, let's say, money aside, right? They go, we want to now have where the pets follow you in game, right? Like, that was literally a thing I was talking about to you earlier. It's like, oh, I want to vote yes on that because I want my little dinosaur to follow me around. I already got my wife on fairies that follow me around, but I want the dinosaur to follow me around. So it's like, I have incentive. I know that if I vote for this, it's going to benefit each individual person. So I think that's what I think in terms of incentivizing, in terms of voting, what makes it different from like the bigger, governments.
Yeah, it's like you have this. I mean, it's a great point. You have this tight knit community that and you're all sort of trying to work for the same thing, or at least willing to have conversations. Like, people are going to disagree in any community, in any setting.
Yes.
But willing to have the conversations and work together to eventually kind of achieve the same goal. Like, in the end, you all want the space to be better and more usable and more accessible and, like, decorated how you want it, have a look and have games and have community. And so it is, it's different than, like, a giant government system. Like, there's a little bit more intimacy in the current DAO. I guess one of the things that is interesting to me, and I think this is kind of like the drama in the DAO in related to voting and like voting for like what we want the space to be, is the like discussion that I see a lot of like voting power, like who has voting power, and like owning land gives you more voting power, or like having your mana, and that's like a financial, like you need to have this financial inclination in order to have VP and to be able to push things forward. And so that is still kind of a weird reflection of like the current like political system, or it feels like to me a little bit. I don't know. Can you speak on that a little bit? It's like one of those things that I think is very interesting. And I know it's like a controversial topic.
No, I mean, I'm just happy that you even know about it, because it's sometimes, again, people don't even know what the DAO is, so it's hard to talk about these things because it just goes over everybody's head that doesn't get involved. So what you're saying with voting power and that kind of things, those things. I mean, I don't know again how involved, even if you got in today's Twitter Spaces, but that came up a lot, and a lot of people were getting really personal about their fights over this kind of stuff, and it's for a reason. So again, I understand the frustration, because here's the deal. You're right. VP power, all these things, they're new. So I agree. They can definitely be fixed, and they can definitely, things can always be redefined and better. Like, let's just use me as a case example. Okay, I've pitched a lot of proposals, and the thing is I have a lot. I've been very blessed, and I have a good following now, and people understand what I'm doing, and they want to work with me to get things done. So when I pitch things, sometimes I get hundreds of people that vote on them, right? And the thing that's sad about it is that it's like, okay, well, comparatively to other DAO proposals, that's not many, right? I mean, that's a lot, compared to some DAO proposals get like one person or two people that vote on it. But it's like sometimes even when I get record numbers of people voting on something, it's still not enough because it doesn't matter. Their VP is like one VP when one dude's VP is worth 4 million VP. So it's like, I get 120 people that vote yes on something and it doesn't pass, but somebody that gets 3 votes on something, it passes. And that's especially when it comes to things like money, that's kind of shady. It's like, whoa, this like, so in a tweet that I tweeted like a couple years ago as a joke, I said, wow, if somebody told me that I could buy mana, which was like 1 cent at one time, and I bought like, 10, like literally like $10,000 worth, it'd be like millions and millions. And then later on, I could just pitch grants and then get it myself. That's shady. It's like, I could just take, like, well, who wouldn't want to do that, But obviously I was dumb. I didn't get mana at the time, so I didn't get that opportunity. But the reason why I bring it up is because it's just like it's a flaw in the system, but obviously we're still young and it can be fixed. So I love that people pitch things. And today in the Twitter Spaces, I was recommending people. They had some great ideas. I said, let's pitch those ideas instead of just complaining about it because we have a say of what goes on here. Now, of course, it's like, well, then what's the best interest of the people that have high VP to vote against themselves, And it's a battle, but it's a battle that I'm willing, everyone should be willing to take on because, again, I pitched a lot of things in the DAO and they didn't go through. But the things that I did pitch that went through was I proved to the whales. I said, you see all these people that voted yes on this. You see the people that go to the events. It's like, what are they going to say no? And if they do say no, then there's no future. So they understand. They're like, listen, maybe we should vote yes on this. All these people voted yes on this. This guy keeps doing this, and this girl with her DAO keeps doing that. It's going to continue to raise value in our lands. It's going to keep raise value in our coins. It may, again, going back to the full circle, think about it as a company. If this person wants to work for us and do this amount of thing for this amount of money and it benefits us this much, then it is illogical to not vote for that, in my opinion. So yes, you're going to still hit even whales that have a lot of VP that want to just get mad and vote no on everything because they just want to keep the money that they have. But let's face it, long term, you can have savings, but it's going to run out. And then the whole point of having money is to make more money within the money. So that's my only really like solution to people for that are trying things out. But really, again, this is what I love about Decentraland is pitch your ideas of a new system. Maybe it's like, okay, people that have a lot of land have VP and a lot of money that have VP, but also people that have a lot of, example for me. Right, I've invested like tens of thousands of dollars on getting all these wearables approved, and it's like that should be VP. I should have more voting power for that because I'm bringing a lot to the community. So someone can pitch that, and then boom, that could be a solution. And if not, it's worth a shot. So that's really all I can say to those type of people.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, I like that kind of your end thought where you're like, well, maybe we change the system where it's like the things that you give to the community are like how you're able to get more voting power, like your contribution, your like involvement in the space, your engagement in the space, instead of just like having these financial assets. There's also an incentive to be involved socially and to continue making these improvements that right now it's kind of just like out of like your will, and you're like giving so much to like the space and trying to build it and build it and build it, and it's like you want to have like some sort of return for your efforts.
100%. 100%. And also, again, the choices are: vote for a government that you have really no outcome in, or vote for something that you might actually have a potential in. So it's like that's those are the options right now. So that's why I spend more time here, because it's like I see results of people pitching things and it's coming through, and I see results, and I think a lot of people really like that kind of system.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like nice to be like, okay, I am making progress. Like I can see progress and it is happening in front of me and it's not stagnant or going backwards, like, or even worse,
Yes,
the regressing.
yes,
Um,
yes.
what do you think, what have you like gained from like being in Decentraland, like working in the space and working in metaverse spaces? Like not just like with your like creative output, but also like personally on like an emotional level?
Yeah, emotional level, I think a lot. Again, it's I think not only myself but a lot of people. Decentraland provides like really just like something that I haven't really found really in any situation. Again, people that have moved to a big city like LA, or people that have tried new things like with music or art or just business, you're hit with literally only negative feedback. Like that's literally all you're hit, and it's usually not productive feedback. The great thing about Decentraland is that and I think is it helps with an emotional experience of it's you're not alone, right? It's like basically like if you could take like let's say I'm not there's nowhere close I'm comparing myself to this, but I'm just saying like this is something that people can understand in terms of a metaphor. Like let's say you took like Steve Jobs and Wozniak trying to build the first Apple computer, Jeff Bezos trying to build, Amazon, people like inventing all these, Elon Musk and Peter Thiel trying to invent PayPal. You take them when they're all in their young stage and they're all trying to do something, but it's like they're not just. It's like yes, they spend 12 hours a day trying to grind the business until it works out, but it's like they also can come to this place where it's like they're like talking about their ideas and their things, and then they feed off each other because they all have something that they can relate to. I'm not the only one here in Decentraland working on an NFT project that's gaining a lot of traction. It's like yeah, I have hundreds of thousands of users and stuff, but it's like over here you got JTV. He's doing the same thing. He's got I think over 80,000 or 70,000 NFT holders as well. He's grinding, and like him and me go on each other's streams. You have a good time. We discuss things, different things that work for each other. I got to give another shout out to Big Mouth and the board pizzas. We're always talking strategy, and he's working on Twitter, posting these things, and he's telling me what's going on. So it's like builds this. It's like basically like an epic community of where people can say, "Hey, man, it's okay." Because the thing about it's like what's tough in life when people try to sell an idea is again, like I said, I'm going back to the beginning of my statement, is that they're hit with only negative feedback with no, people can't relate. They're like, dude, like who cares? Like, we want to have this company called Uber, and you want to give people rides around. That sounds dumb. Like that's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get any productive feedback. But over here, it's more of an open arms type of thing. It's like, hey, let's all fail together. Hey, you want to create like this, create like literally people are like, dude, you want to create an NFT collection based on these waifu drawings and parody arts? Like that's hella cool. That's hilarious. And then they give me ideas, and then and then they're like, come to me and like, hey man, like I said, I'm gonna bring JTV up again. I'm gonna give out Santa hats as NFTs, and people are gonna wear them on Santa and on Christmas. It's like it's like these are all like really in the real in the outside of the metaverse. People would just think everything is cringe and dumb, but it's like in a year, it's like we take everybody's ideas and we take everybody's and we give each other feedback and we support each other. It's like that whole, I don't know if you ever heard the term wag me. It's like everyone's like helping each other out and they're giving each other feedback. Yes, of course, there's a bunch of bad actors, but this Decentraland to me, in terms of all their places, is the highest in terms of open arms. There's a lot of people here that are helping each other out and growing together, and I think to for an emotional level, to me that's helped a lot. And I think a lot of other people, if they're seeking that, definitely give it a shot and check it out.
Hmm. Yeah, I love like I mean it seems like the theme in that is that Decentraland is a space where you are able to like build community, make friends, like have co-creators, have like creative support, emotional support, and like be vulnerable. Like that's kind of what it seems
Yes.
like you're communicating. Is that kind of it?
No, 110%. You're very right, and I can tell you're very perspective in that. And like I said, I think it's also because you based on your experience. That doing things again coming back to you with your film. It's like when you have like, oh, I have a film idea, or I'm working on somebody's film idea. Everything's super vulnerable because it's like it's like uh, there's no playbook. There's no like this is what you got to do this, and then that's how you finish it. It's like literally everything is a blank slate. And yeah, and it gives you the I think the room to make mistakes and the room to grow. And here's another thing, which is wild in terms of not just Decentraland, but and so yeah, that's helped me with emotional support, and it helps I believe others. But a lot of people come in here. I would say 99.9% of people in here, if you're just looking on my screen right now, literally nobody has their real name or they have their real profile picture, right? I'm like the only idiot. I have, in my first and last name, and I have my profile picture with NFTs. But everybody here has, fake names. We got Lumpsty, we got Armoros, we got Rishi Girl. Oh, there's Rishi Girl in the house killing it. Gucci Toe, great DJ and the thing. Shibby Wib, what the hell? I haven't seen him in hell long. Shibby Wib's an OG. Just I'm looking around. Old guy, Sherry Berry, NFT, Bubblegum, Girl with Girl, Roastin, epic, legendary artist too as well. So it's like these are all people that are like have fake names and they have fake profile pics. So it's like there's nothing to lose now, right? It's like you're in this world, these are real people, but everybody's got these masks on except for my dumbass. And it's like you can say some dumb things and try some things out and pitch people things. And it's like, and if it's like the worst thing in the world, it's like who cares? You can literally just change your name. It's like, so there's like literally there's no fear anymore. I think a lot of people like that. I think people like the fact that it's like you can not have fear, because in the world right now, like everything has consequences. It's like, oh, you say something wrong or you do something wrong, boom, like it's on the internet, they're going to hit your employers, you're done. Right, it's over. It's like things are, I think, more riskier now than ever when it comes to free thought, free expression, experimental. But it's like I think that's why I think the metaverse long term is going to be a really big, because it's like people, that's a demand. People still want to be innovative. People still want to try new things. People still want to test the waters on terms of everything in life. And I think this provides that for them and myself.
I like that's so you're the first person I've talked like as I've been like talking and discussing with people that
Hell yeah.
have brought up the like anonymity of it and like the benefits of like being a blank slate and people not knowing who you are. Like that is something I haven't thought about at all and is so interesting. I guess and you're talking about consequences. Like, are there consequences in the metaverse? Like, do you think that there are some consequences in Decentraland? Like, I'm curious.
That's hilarious. Well, to me, I think comparatively to real life, the consequences are way less, because again, you can just change your name. My opinion, right? You can change your name, change your account. But here's the deal: there's people are still holding people accountable in the metaverse. Again, there's a lot of the, I don't know how deep you are in the politics of things, but people are, don't want to bring it up again, but the Decentraland DAO, people are like really like digging through the weeds of people's the grants that they've gotten, and they're seeing if they spent the money, because the blockchain doesn't lie. They're like, did he spend this money on this that he said that they did they say that they actually accomplished these things that they said they were going to do? And you can really just get in the weeds, and they're calling them out in the forums, they're calling them out on Twitter, they're like, basically pitchforks, going after people and stuff. And to me, it's comedy, because I'm like, yes, I know there's bad actors, I hate the bad actors, it sucks, but it's really, I'm like, yo, we need to, it's like the ship is like, we're a ship, a pirate ship, and there's like only like a joke for people that are listening right now, 38, right? That was Coindesk's analyst. There's only 38 people that play this game. Well, right here I'm looking at more than 38, so that's a comedy. But I'll just say this: it's like having a pirate ship of 38 people, and you're all trying to figure out how to get to this destination to make money, or to get gold, or to find a new land. And in that small pirate ship, yeah, Tranhan agrees. Yep, I hear you on that. You're in this small pirate ship, you have like 10 people that are just literally complaining about everything and not doing anything, right? They're like, dude, this guy is not pulling the rope hard enough. This guy is not really mopping decks fast enough. It's like, hold on, dude. Like, we only have 38 people here. We have all this money, and then we're trying to push this ship to the future. We're trying to make this succeed. And like, you're literally spending this time, like digging into weeds and like getting mad. I'm like, yes, these are bad people, or they're doing bad things. But can you please like instead pitch something so then you can help pull the rope, and pull the sails. And then it's like, then later on we can have that kind of discussion. Let's continue to grow this before we have those. But again, I think people are still finding their way. Yeah, what's up, Billy T Coin? Yeah, I know some of these things are saying wild, bro, but it had to be said, right? It's just like, I think people are being held accountable in that sense. There are people that are looking out for those people. I think obviously those people do provide value too. Don't get me wrong. I think CopyZilla, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's really big in the just cryptocurrency in general, YouTuber wise. He literally investigates people and calls people out, and I think that's good. Definitely, but again, it's like the whole catch-22. It's like, well, that person can just go change their name. They can just go change a totally different identity, and they can create a new Twitter account. So yeah, it's a little bit more Wild Westy in that sense. But again, I have been been blessed in the sense of I've never dealt with that because I'm an idiot. I use my name, I show my face, So it's like if I do something really dumb, which I mean I've done many things dumb, but I mean like something that's like really bad, people can hold me accountable. So I think yeah, it's really a more Wild Westy, but again, I think we're too young to be worrying about things that are not as big of a deal when things should be going in more positive. Build. Let's focus on building, not complaining.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, you're like very well. I think that's like part of who you are, or from what I understand, like you're very forward thinking, and you're like, okay, like let's move on, like on to the next thing, like let's see where we can go with this. Like we're gonna solve this problem. We're gonna get the ship to shore, wherever it needs to
Yeah.
go. I guess the opposite, like on the opposite end of the last question, where I was like, what have you gained? What do you think that you've lost from being like spending time in Decentraland or like working in this space, or like negative consequences? Have you had any experience with that?
Yeah, I think in terms of loss, I think time. Obviously, I spend an insane amount of time here. So, but to me, again, back to the forward thinking thing. It's just like to me, I prefer to live with no regrets. So I prefer to try things out and learn things instead of just like what else could I be doing? Like I could be, one of my old sports coaches used to say, at least you're not home eating a Snickers bar. I could be doing that. But it's like so. It's like to me, it's like yes, I've lost time, right? I have lost money. Again, I was just mentioning earlier, I've invested over $10,000 in submitting wearables. Luckily, there was a DAO. We've pitched a lot of DAO proposals, and finally, we lowered the rate to 150 per proposal instead of it was like X amount of mana, which then it raised because of Mark Zuckerberg's thing. So like, I literally had to spend like 4 grand on one. But to me, at the time, it was worth it because it was like, yo, like there's not many wearables out there, and I want this little Wifemon fairy to fall around, and everybody in the Wifemon community wants these things, and so I was like, I just did it, and I paid the money, and I've been happy with it long term because it's like paid off. A lot of people bought Wifemons and they like the fairies. But yeah, I've lost time, I've lost money, and yeah, I think those things are they suck. But again, to me, if I have to like look at it from a higher view, it's like this. Why would I not be here? Like this is what I'd rather be doing. There's a lot of other things I could be doing too as well, but it's to me, it's better to try to like surf up the wave than it is to just not surf at all. Because it's like then you're just gonna live like the worst thing. Everyone has a different opinion, but my thing is like the worst thing you can do is live with regret. So I rather literally just do this, go ham at this, and again, go to zero with everything. Zero money, zero crypto, literally nothing, be homeless, live in a box. I don't care. Like, I'd rather do that and try than not. Because then if you don't try, you're spending more of your time, my opinion, I could be wrong, more of your time just sitting there doing your whatever mundane thing. And it's just thinking about the possibilities of the things that you could have done, but you didn't because you just didn't want to take those steps.
I like that. I mean, I love that you're like, yes, I've spent this time, but I don't
Yeah.
regret it, which can be, I mean, that can be like a hard conclusion to come to for a lot of people, right? That you're like, okay, I understand that I've spent this time, but I've also gained things and I don't regret my choices. Do you ever like, I don't know how to frame this question. It just like made me think, like you talking about this. I'm like, do you have a preference of like hanging out in metaverse spaces versus hanging out in real world spaces? Like, do you find that you have a preference in that? I get that's kind of where my mind went as you were talking about this.
No, it's cool. I like that you asked the question because it's a weird thought that a lot of people have about the metaverse, and I want to like address it with pure honesty and the fact that I do prefer hanging out in the metaverse than I do real life. I'm a little bit more like in terms of like my mind, I'm different. Everybody's different, but I'm different in the sense of like I'm more like trying to think of things and stuff all the time. And to me, don't get me wrong, I love going to clubs, I love going to bars. But the thing is, though, it's like there's really only so many outcomes that can happen at a bar club. It's like, okay, my goal to go to the bar club is to maybe meet somebody, fall in love, or get laid, or just get drunk, and then I'm holding a toilet. Like there's a couple, there's a couple outcomes there. But with the metaverse, I love is that you can multitask, and that's what like some people I think that are similar to me, where they go, okay, well I can try to like approach the girl or the guy, start a conversation, and then just go through all this anxiety, go through all this stuff, right, and then create this like connection, and then at the end of the night it might turn into something or it might not. But then it's like a lot of work and effort for something that might really not really, either person that's involved in might not really want to get anything out of it or benefit from it. The thing I love about the metaverse is somebody like me, which is really more ADD, more, dyslexia. It's like, hey, like I know all these people and I meet new people every day in this metaverse, and it's like, but it's like I build connections with them, and it's like we do more than just hang out and party. Like we all like kind of like, or like a different type of vibe where it's like, hey, like, what are you what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do in your life? And then it goes, oh, this person's like, oh, what am I? This is what I'm trying to do. And we like discuss these, have different types of conversations. And then we like maybe become partners and work on things together. And then if they do or don't work out, it doesn't matter because that's our kind of fun. It's like our type of thing. Just as an example, one of the DAOs that I got passed was a grant, and it was like $60,000. But we pitch was really ambitious. We're like, we're gonna build like 20 to 25 different of these the lands with different games. It's basically like pitching like to Nintendo, which Nintendo gives people like millions of dollars of a budget to create a video game, but we're asking for way lower to create all these levels. But because we just want to do it, we're like, I don't care if we lose money, like we just want to give it a shot and see where it goes. And it passed, and it got a lot of votes. But I'm sitting there and I only have my set of skills, but it's like because I'm into Decentraland so much. I know of a lot. I've had all these conversations with all these people. I all know what they're trying to do too. So it's like we can kind of do like a Megazord, like the Power Rangers. It's like, yo, dude, I know you're trying to do these things with these mazes. I know she's trying to do these things with these wearables. I know this dude over here is trying to do this new kind of cool thing with the platforms and the thing. It's like we all combine forces and we hire each other and we create these things and we all work together. And those things I don't think can really happen necessarily too much because it's like, okay, I'm going to go to a club. Oh, like right now, MetaTrekkers, he's a great guy. Chris, and he's like, hit me up, hey, we got to go to Miami. And I'm like, I love you, bro. I love going to Miami. We got to meet some people. But I'm like, dude, I just like, all right, now I got to get on a plane. Now I got to go fly over there, spend some money. Now I got to like, dress, get clothes. It's like all these things. This is like, dude, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up? Hey, we got to have this. Let's do this or that. Boom, log on. It's there. It's done. It's just all that friction, all that like kind of stuff like in between is kind of eliminated. So that's why I know it's pretty sad to say, but that's why I love the metaverse more than doing stuff IRL.
I don't think it's sad at all. It's like it's just a different like perspective, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a very compelling one and one that I've heard before. I think there's like two themes that come out from that. You're like, one, I have like unlimited options, or like there's like diversity in the like metaverse space or on the computer space. Like you can open a new tab and you're essentially teleporting. Like you are like
Yes.
on one tab and then you're like, okay, wait, I have an idea. Like ADHD is kicking in, and I also have ADHD, so I totally get it.
So
Yeah, ADHD is kicking in. I need to like open 7 more tabs, and now I'm in all of these different mental spaces, and it can feel like a very physical space because you're like reading and you're engrossed and you're in. So that's like the one thing that you're like, there is unlimited opportunity on like with screen life. And then the second one is deeper connection, is what, to sum up what you were saying, like having a deeper connection because the communication isn't like a physical communication. It's very like verbal or typing. And so you're forced to like exchange like thoughts instead of just like sitting in each other's presence, if that makes sense. Like that's kind of like what I seem what I'm like summing up from what you've like told me.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And you're right. It's a different type of level of communication in the sense of you're right. You have a lot more invitation to be more vulnerable because you're at your own home. You're sitting there and you're chilling and you can really express things and definitely. And one quick before I say anything else, shout out to Sir Drop. I see you, bro. Looking out, yo, man. How you doing? I'm good, man. I'm happy you enjoying the stream, bro. Thanks for coming through and happy birthday too as well, man. You had a great birthday yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Just like one funny example is like. A lot of people tell me a lot of crazy stuff, not just in the metaverse, but like in their real life. Like they come out they tell me these things that like I could tell they've never told anyone before. And I think I think it's because of the sense of like I built in my persona in the metaverse of like, my character right now, I don't know if you can see it, but my shirt that I have, my wearable, it has this huge gut sticking out on the bottom of it. It's like his stomach, and it's got these waifus, these buff Pokemons and these crazy chicks. And it's it's just this crazy image, right? It's just like insanity. So it's like obviously like whatever you tell me, like it's I'm not gonna judge you because like I would be an asshole. Like look at who am I to judge? You know, like I have like cringe on the front line of my existence. So it's kind of like I think that's, and I'm bringing that up because I think that's what a lot of other people are experiencing too in terms of intimacy of like it's like they can't really get that in real life because in real life when you meet each other, you guys are dressed apart, you guys are looking your best. Everybody's kind of putting on this, like, kind of facade because they want to impress each other. And so you kind of like have this like surface value kind of connection. And it takes a long time to kind of get through the layers before you really get to know each other. In the terms of what I love about the metaverse is that it goes straight to it. It's like, everybody comes in and they're wild, and you can dress as crazy as you want. Like right now we're looking at, Stokey. We got Refresh. We got, I can't see her name because it's blocked up on the top. She's like flying around on a witch broom with angel wings. Like she's just going crazy. Like it's like there's now I know it's like whatever I tell her, like she's gonna be like she won't care like how crazy it is because it's like she's already going crazy. Who we got to shout out to the old guy right here. He's just like, yo, check it out, I'm old guy. Like I don't even know if he is old or not, but it's like even if he is, it's like who cares? Now it's like now we know he's old guy. It just gets through that barrier, and then we can have the other conversations that we want to actually have instead of getting through all the layers. So I think that's what you said right there is really hitting the nail on the head in the metaverse. And I think people don't really talk too much about is that it kind of like lets you be your true authentic self.
That's so cool. I'm like, do you think I like love that like summary and like being able to like be kooky and crazy in a way like how like kind of choosing how you present yourself in this way that you're like, yeah, I'm like an open book and I'm here and I'm just like wanting to have fun and a normal person and here to listen. Do you think that like being in these space like working in these spaces and like being in the metaverse has like made you more like closer to people or like more like emotionally intelligent? That's kind of like the gist I got, but like maybe you've always been like that. Or like more in tune with yourself and other yourself, I guess. Also, I guess there's like your own emotional intelligence and then how you like interact with others.
Definitely. No, I actually agree with you on that. Obviously to me, I've improved because I've gotten to basically, get to know people on higher levels than I have. Like I said, I met a lot of people. I don't know where you live currently right now. But
Toronto.
where do you live?
Toronto.
Nice, nice, nice. So you know what's up. So you live in a city, so you know that you get to meet a lot of people and you have a lot of fun. But there's a lot of like if you just try to like think in your head like if you can picture like everyone you've met in the past year, it's like so many, and it's just like a lot of fun interactions. But it just went to those levels of just like it was fun and then I never see you again. And I think I love that too. It's great. Definitely people should experience those things. But this right here, like I met a lot of people. But I really know like the people that I meet here because it's like we skip through all that, we skip through all the stuff and emotionally like I think it's gotten people to a good level, and to me it's like comical too sometimes because it's like, oh, like, this person's got a picture of a little cute cat, and it could be a girl or guy. Like, I don't know who the person is. It could be anything. It could be any gender. I don't know, but I just know the person is that name in that picture. And then it's like, oh, it's a cute cat. Oh, they're having a fun time at the parties. And then politics come on, and the person's being like super harsh. It's like, whoa, this person's got like this is like a different side of them, but it's like it's kind of like there's no hiding it. It's like, hey, this person's going to be who they are and they're going to say what they believe because there's no repercussions. So to me I enjoy it. I think to me it's also very entertaining. I think that's why if you're asking what I've gained out of it emotionally, I think entertainment for sure, like hardcore. Like I love it. Like to me, like just like when I hang out here at this club or when I go to like some of the fields, like I feel like the times in high school where like you're all kind of finding yourselves, but you're all just kind of hanging out and you're all discussing things that you want to do. It's like that doesn't really exist anymore after really high school. Some people experience that in college too, but they don't really get to have that because it's just again, it's like, all right, I'm going to the bar, I'm going to the club, or whatever they go to events. I'm spending money, so like they all have a direct mission. Like I better get something out of this. It's kind of like people get upset when they don't because it's like, dude, what the heck? It's just a funny joke. Like Blink-182, they're like, oh, they're having a concert and everyone's excited, and I was excited. The tickets are like 200 to like $5,000 each, and everyone's like, what the hell? It's like, and it's kind of like people get a little. It's like just to leave the house these days is expensive. For this, you can you can risk a lot more and have a lot more fun, and you don't have to spend as much money, and it's a, like, you get more out of it. So yeah, I just think that the value to me, again, I was just like, it's like, oh, I can watch the Kardashians, it's fun, it's watching the drama of these people, but like, or I can go to Twitter Spaces and I can watch these Maury shows, these reality shows go down, but it's like people I know, so it's like there's more at stake, it's like it's more investing. It's like, yo, dude, like that's my homie, and like he just said some messed up stuff to my other homie, and like they're getting into it, and I got, my friend Kness over here, she's trying to break it up, and I got, Sinful, he's like muting the mic. It's like, to me, it's like, I'm like, I can't buy that on TV. That's not possible, like this is real. So yeah, it's a lot more it's really messed up to say, but it's, I think a lot of people find more entertainment in that, because it's like more of a family going through things than it is from just people that you never see or never meet.
I like that allegory. Like, and I guess that's like the effectiveness of social media, where it's like you kind of know a lot of the people, so the drama feels closer and the action feels closer. And when you
Yes.
say I am invested in this, it's like you are invested because they're your friends, and there's like these relationships that you've built and spent a lot of time in, and you're like, ooh, what's gonna go down over here? And it's so
A thousand
exciting.
percent.
What is, okay, you mentioned your outfit. I feel like for people who can't see the live, you should like describe your outfit because I love it so much. Like it looks so good. You should give like an oral description of this like sick look, a fit check.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. If just to kind of make it easy, basically, I'm wearing it even on stream right now. I'm wearing a Snorlax hat. It came from an inside joke, because one live stream that I was on with JTVs, it was him and this really smart guy. He's even got a PhD, Dr. Ham. They were just having this debate about things that they could do logistically, and they had me on as a guest. But like, I just kind of tuned out because I didn't really care. So I was kind of leaning back, and I was trying to look like Snorlax, and I was just kind of like, and everyone was laughing at me because they're like, dude, Aaron is like totally not involved in this conversation, and blah blah blah. It's just a joke that happened, and then so now I do a called the Snorlax pose, and I wear the Snorlax hat. It's like a kind of a joke, and so it's like kind of funny now, and it's a good time. But I keep bringing that joke even more because it's like, I'm a big guy and I like to stick on my gut. This, and it's like everybody at the time was creating these wearables that were like making them look really cool, like super buff, and the girls were looking super cute or super sexy. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a little different. I'm gonna be real, So I made mine realistic as hell. It's like, basically a belly sticking out, of the bottom of the shirt, and it's those typical waifu shirts that people see that, other people have worn, but ours is our waifumon on the shirt, so it's parodying that. But on top of that, we have a stomach sticking out at the bottom, basically. And the thing that's funny about it, it makes me obviously show, people always say, Aaron, you're pregnant of chicken nuggets, because I like to eat chicken nuggets on stream, so it's hilarious. But girls, when they wear this shirt, they also have that stomach too, so a lot of girls like to wear the shirt and say that, hey, look, I'm pregnant with a waifumon, and just little inside jokes on that. So if you want to show off your gut and stretch your stuff, this is definitely the wearable to get.
I love it. It's so fun. And it goes great with like the sweatpants and like the golden shoes and the little dinosaur and the wings. Like it's like all together. It's like such a fun, and like the little now when you like rotate it, I see more the little devil ears. It looks
Yeah,
so, and the
yeah.
fairy.
Yeah, it's great. This that little hat was the first wearable that I ever bought. Was that MetaZoo? It's based on the Zeus type of theme, which is a Jaguar, black on black. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, I'll never change this one. But literally, every wearable I'm wearing, I believe we made. The fairies, the wings are JTV's wings. The shirt we've made, the shoes, like you said, and the gold shoes. So yeah, if you have if people, whoever's listening now on the stream, most of you guys already know what's up. But if people, other people that were in the video, if you guys ever want to try creating clothes or things, this is definitely the place to do it, because there's something that's really wild about creating something, which is fun, but also creating something and then seeing other people rep it for just a small period of time or all the time, like I do. It's a mind blowing experience. It's a lot of fun for sure.
I love it. I guess I'm like, maybe I'll ask like one final question. I'm like having so much fun, and like everything you said, I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm so glad that I got to come on this live stream and chat with you.
No problem. Same. I appreciate it too, and everyone in the chat too as well really appreciates it. Like, we've had a lot of fun, so thank you so much. And it's cool, like I said, just kind of learning about what you've kind of learned about this, what your experience through the metaverse and the DAO so far, and just kind of learn where everyone's at. And yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's literally been awesome. And it's like I don't know. It's so fun to chat. One, I like love to gab and I love to chat with new people and like hear what they're doing and hear what inspires them and hear what keeps them going and what they don't like, what they do like. And you have such like so many thoughts and so many different things that I'm like, yeah, really appreciate your insight and your honesty. I'm just at the stage where I'm like collecting all this knowledge and information, but I definitely love to do this again. Like I feel like I'm gonna digest for 2 weeks and I'm gonna have like more questions and I would love to have you like be part of this documentary. Like I think you're awesome.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I would 1,000% be down. And anything else you need, let me know. Especially if you're trying to, I don't, depending on what kind of direction you want to go with it. If you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for certain types of people, let me know. I've been very blessed. I've been again doing this for a couple years now. So I'm, I guess it's weird. It's like only a couple years, but to a lot of people that's OG because it's like the metaverse hasn't been around that long.
You're an
But I know a lot of
OG.
people in the space, so I could definitely hook you up with them if you want to talk to them too as well. But yeah, I'm definitely down. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I'm like so excited. Yeah, I'm gonna start. I like have a vision that it's kind of like an animated-ish documentary. And so I'm gonna
Nice.
start doing some like animation tests with like yeah, like like this recording, like kind of seeing like, okay, what can I make it look like with our voices that like looks interesting. And once I kind of get it started, I'll send it to you. And eventually I'll like get like before I publish anything, like I'll get your permission and get a written form, like as anyone does, like the regular stuff.
Thanks. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, and for me too as well. Don't hold back too as well. Like anything, if you think if that's something controversial or something, like let me know and I'm down to even include it. Because like I said, I think there's this. You're very smart to focus on this kind of subject because I could tell like even especially I mean people obviously in the ecosystem love it, but people
Mm-hmm.
outside it's very topical.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know if you saw Coinbase's or CoinDesk's recent story, but they were like
No.
pitching that there's only 38 people in this metaverse, and like that was
Oh
like one of their
yeah.
most clicked stories recently ever, and it was wild. It's like people are like, there's people like defending it, and then there's other
Mm-hmm.
people who are like, you guys are all full of shit. This is like a Second Life. It's bullshit. And so it's just like it's just I just it's weird because it's just so much controversy over literally art, but
Yeah.
here we are. So so great choice.
And you're like, I'm along for the ride. Well, and I also love like the community just because I have a background in like community organizing and working with people. I like also love that aspect of it. It really draws me in and I don't think there's enough work on that like studying like the communal aspects that like the internet or Decentraland or metaverses provide, not just like these isolating aspects.
110%. Yeah, you come from that background and you kind of see what kind of like what's going on. It's not just like surface value. You're like, oh,
Mm.
you see all the moving parts.
Mhm.
And that's why it's perfect for somebody like you to do a documentary like this because you can kind of break it down into the levels of what's going on instead of just being like, here's this thing that's basically nothing and then that's it. And then it's just not really people want to know what's in the meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is the meat of the story? And there is lots
Yeah,
of meat here.
1,000%.
Full of chicken nuggets.
So 1,010%. That's great. I'm dead.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Aaron. This is like literally been so fun. I was like, oh, it's gonna be so late. I'm like gonna be tired. But then I was so invigorated by our conversation and I'm so happy.
Aw.
So I appreciate that being here and that you took the time to chat with me and it's been so fun.
No, I'm happy you did too. Like I said, because I was looking back when you first DM'd me, and unfortunately, when you DM'd me, it was right when I think was towards the beginning of launch, so like it just got pushed down. Like literally every day, my DMs were full of people asking for Waifu on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's a problem, but I'm cool with it because it's a good problem. But I
Yes.
miss things, and I'm like, yeah, you've been really killing it for a while, so I'm really happy that we finally got it done.
Yay! Oh my gosh, what a freaking treat. Yeah, no, it's like I started the like research last year, but then I had like a little bit of a lull because I was finishing up a different like doc project. And now I'm like getting back into it and I'm like, I should just reach out again and see if Aaron is around. And it worked out perfectly.
Hell yeah! Well, question to you: how did you even find out about me or the Waifumon
How did I
project
find
or
out about
whatever?
like Decentraland or
Yeah,
you?
Decentraland. Both.
Okay, well, first I found out about Decentraland. I think I was just like researching like when I was graduating from my master's in urban planning, I was doing a thesis and I was really interested in like these virtual spaces. Like I was like, oh, like how does urban planning scale in these like digital environment? And so I started researching a bunch of different digital environments and like spending time in them and like looking around and just kind of like doing my own like digital exploration. And obviously one of them that came up was Decentraland, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And so then when I started like working at York, like the university I'm at, I was like, oh, I should revisit that. Like that was so interesting. And so I got back into it and I joined the Discord and I started just kind of like reading the messages in the Discord, and I joined the DAO and I went to a couple of the town hall meetings, and just those initially like kind of like diving in like piece by piece. And because I was like into governance, I was like, whoa, this is like super cool. So then when I was like, oh, I should really do a project about this, like this isn't known enough. Then I was looking at different people in the chats, like people who were participating a lot and had different like grant projects. And you were like one of the people, like it was just like Aaron, and you had a lot of it must have just when I checked in, but I think you were like having a lot of conversations, and it was either the DAO or like the general Decentraland chat on Discord. And I was like, this guy's involved. Like I should reach out to him. Like he seems like he's doing cool stuff. And so that's when I reached out to you. And that's like why I reached out to you.
That's great. That is so funny. You to me are hilarious because you've done like the reverse of what everyone else does. Like most people just come in, they come to like some parties and they get NFTs and then they just hang out, whatever. Like you're like hella funny in the sense of like you went like the other side. You went dark deep into like the politics and like all the like the behind the scenes. Like you investigated all the behind the scenes and before and then coming in through the other side. That is great. I think I love that about you in the sense of it's totally different than most people. I think that's what's going to make, obviously you're continuing to kill it with documentaries. I think that's what's going to make you continue to make great ones because you really understand, like, again, what's behind everything and what's going on. And again, what you said to me, I think is huge. It's like this governance type of model is so wild because it's like not no one's talking about it. It's like totally like not even a thing mainstream that people understand. When I'm like telling people, like that's why I said IRL, like I tell people like, oh, we're doing this with the down, that people are like, what the hell? Like they just turn off. They're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's so
No, no.
new.
It's so new. It's like it's new and it's developing. I think that's part of it where it's like right now it's using kind of existing governance theories that have been tested out in real life. Like it is sort of city council-esque, and it is like with the VP stuff, it is very old fashioned in that way, but then it's like continuing to experiment and be fluid and move forward. I think that's like
Yeah.
the very experimental part of it, like trying to find this like optimal form of governments, like striving for something.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree, and I love about the innovation of it. Just even just one thing, just to name one thing that's crazy is that when people vote in government elections, it's like we don't know. We don't know. We just did these many people vote? We don't know. There's no record. Did this person vote? We don't know. The thing that's great about the blockchain, what's great about the technology in the DAO, it's like not only do we know who voted, but we know or how many people voted. We know exactly who voted for what, and it's all
Mm,
public. So
mm,
it's a game changer, really, to
yeah.
be honest. And if governments used it, it would be like people. Honestly, I think people would change the way they vote just based on everyone knowing who they voted for alone. It would change everything. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes of it all because it's a wild experiment for sure.
Yeah, it's like an interesting social pressure where it's like, yes, there's this like anonymity in the Decentraland space, but then when it comes to voting, there's like no anonymity. It's like the opposite.
Yeah, yeah. To me it's comical and it's great because people even for me because I mean people pitch me all the time about proposals. I don't have much VP, but I like to read them and I like to give people support as much as I can because I mean the only thing that I can really contribute is like I have a lot of people that follow and stuff so I can tell them about it. So
Hmm.
like I check everybody's stuff out and I vote and some people recently been like Aaron, how come you voted yes for this and this and this? Like you're just a sellout. You voted yes for this. And I said, bro, like, I know you're new. I know, but I'm like, this person has done X, Y, Z and this, and everyone here knows that I've worked with that person and we've done these great things and that I've seen proof of that person. So it's like, that's why I voted for that person. Like, it wasn't really needed to be said because everyone else knows. you don't know, but now you know. So I understand you calling me out, but it's like it's good. Like I want people to be able to, like, if I vote for something that's super shady, like I want people to have the opportunity to say, Aaron, come on, bro, because
Yeah.
it's like then it's like it's not the intent for the long term of everything. So yeah, it's fun. It's really good, and it's a thing that like I said, I honestly think. And I get it. I think you get it too. Like I said, you have been investigating and stuff. And I love experimenting with this because honestly, long term, I think this is going to not just be here. It's not going to be just NFTs. It's not going to be just Web3. It's like if you're a company and you don't, like, when this gets really redefined, which I think right here is the grounds for that. Everyone is working hard on kind of figuring out how the best way to get everybody happy, to get things to work. When that finally gets polished, if you're a company in any form, or if you're a government in any form and you're not utilizing it, like, you're missing the ball. It's like literally the internet, it comes out and it's like, web 1 is here and you're just totally like everyone's benefiting off it, and then just you choosing to ignore that. Like, that's, I think, the gravity of what's going on, I think, long term here.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Totally. Yeah, there's like so many things happening and it's changing, and it's like fun to be documenting those things right now. It's like fun to like be having this like little record where it's like, what will happen? We don't know. Here's some predictions and we're just gonna see.
Yeah,
We're like gonna
a
find out.
thousand percent.
Oh, amazing. Well, now it's my time. Thank you so. I've said thank you so many times, but I'm like actually so happy that I came and we chatted. Like, this is awesome.
No problem. Thank you too as well. Like I said, I had a lot of fun, and I like having these discussions because, again, like I said, you could tell you're very knowledgeable, and it's very rare, to have these conversations. So they're always a treat, and like I said, I love learning what you knew too as well, and I can't wait till the next one.
Woohoo! Me too. And I'll send you this recording like right now. I'll just like put it on my phone and then I'll send it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Because yeah, we'd love to edit it and put it on a video so that way people can see it.
Oh my
And yeah, if
gosh.
you need anything from my end too, luckily this is up. This is streaming everywhere. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitter. It's on TikTok. It's on or Twitch. Well, actually, no, sorry. It's no longer on Twitch. This is our third time we've gotten banned from Twitch, but we're gonna get back up, and we'll get it up there again too as well. But yeah, I'll send you the files if you need them.
Amazing. Woohoo! Okay. Ah, we are just good to go. Sweet. Well, I will talk to you later, Aaron. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll probably reach out to you in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Thanks. Thanks again. You have a great night.
Awesome. You too. And if there's any fun stuff happening in Decentraland, let me know. I'll come join in.
Hell yeah, 1,000%. I'll let you know. Right now we're at DCL Baby Dolls. Next week we'll be every Wednesday we'll be doing an event too as well, and I'll let you know of other good stuff too.
Woohoo! Yay! Awesome. All right. I will see you later. A treat meeting you.
Hell, you too. Thanks again.
Yay. Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks again. Sorry about that if you guys couldn't hear. I tried to be the one, even though you guys know me. I love talking a ton. So that part wasn't hard, but I wanted to kind of also not only answer her questions, but also like say what she was saying in the questions so you guys can hear what was going on. So apologies for that, but luckily you guys will be able to watch the full video very soon. As soon as she's going to send me the audio recording, I'll put it up on YouTube. I will probably let everybody know that only follows me on Twitter that as well, so they can check it out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out this interview. And it's cool. We had a lot of fun. That course was good and solid. Today was a very busy day. We had the Meta Trekkers event. We had our event. Now we're at Baby Dolls. And I believe Rustin, if anybody here knows what happened, let me know. If I think it was Rustin and why do I keep forgetting it's Dan. It's like Bank Dan or Crypto Dan. He's a legend. I love him. And I'm sorry, bro, if I messed up your name. But yeah, I believe you two were going at it in terms of the DJ battle. So I'm really interested in who won, but more importantly, what songs you guys played. If any of you guys stream that, please also to let me know, either in the chat here or just DM me on Twitter because I want to check that out. I love to check out the events that I missed on your guys' old streams, so that way I can pretend that I was there in spirit. But also, I love you guys so much. So thanks again for checking out everything. So again, to just end the stream tonight, thank you guys all for completing the course. Basically, it was me, Rishi Girl, and Infinite Wins. I know some of you guys are just kind of either waking up now and checking it out or doing it. It's all good. Post your selfie in the tweet. Let me just do some quick final shout outs before I log off on the Twitter. Sorry guys, I wasn't really checking the chat. I wasn't checking the chat as much because we were doing that, but it was fun. To be honest, it was a total gamble. I didn't even know the person. She was great. She turned out to be very great. So the gamble was definitely worth it. She was a lot of fun, and obviously, which was kind of fun for us that you guys are listening, because at first I thought it was somebody that didn't know anything at all about the Decentraland. So I was kind of like, oh, it's going to be like kind of like a tutorial basically, and a lot of you guys wouldn't. You guys would be kind of like interested in the sense of like, oh, it's fun that we're like giving somebody knowledge of 101, but you guys wouldn't really be able to benefit from it. But she was like like not only organized but well researched, and she actually like knew what was going on a lot with the down stuff. So I'm happy about that, because then you guys kind of had fun watching it too, as well as I did in answering the questions. But yeah, shout out to Rishi Girl too, looking great. Oh, it was you that was on the broom. That's hilarious. Rishi Girl is the MVP of tonight. Not only was she like showing off all the drip, being like basically an epic model, and like showing off all the drip during the interview, and so she can show her that she was asking questions in the interview. But she was also the person that I couldn't see her name, that she was floating up above on the top on the witch broom. That is wild. That is an epic emote. Congrats on that. I didn't even know that emote existed. So whoever created that, massive shout out to you. That is phenomenal. That is wild. I think Rostin created the fairy emote. Great. All these flying emotes, guys. I'm telling you right now. Thank you so much. What the hell? Hold on. Yo, check it out, Rishi. We've already gotten 13 likes on that post that I just posted within the post. That is great. I guess you're right. We definitely need to drop that as an album cover. So 71 of you guys posted your wallet numbers right now during the stream. I appreciate it. I'm gonna give the last final shout outs. Super Matt 7045. Yo, you're a legend, bro. Thanks. You're actually the first time I've ever seen you post your wallet number. So welcome to the stream, man. Hopefully you learned something today. Open Sailor, same to you, bro. Look at that. It's a couple new people. Thanks so much, bro. Racha, I already gave you a shout out, bro. Odin gave you shout out, Takshan. Jay, I've seen you many times in your Decentraland icon. Thanks, bro, for posting your wallet number. Muri Kentura, thank you, bro. I don't know who Airdrop Bounty is. Oh, I think. Oh wait, that is a real. Is it? I don't know. Well, if you're real, bro, shout out to you. You tagged a bunch of people. I didn't say you had to tag anybody, but I appreciate you tagging people just to spread the word. So I appreciate that, man. Live, thank you so much for posting your wallet number. I really appreciate it as well. There's me and Rishi's album cover that we did today right before the interview. That was hilarious. Robin, bro, what's going on, man? Thanks for posting every week. I've been seeing you. I really appreciate it, man, for checking out the stream. And I think you usually complete the courses, but you complete them later on. So thanks for coming by, man. Anternon, looking out, bro. Looking out. Johnny Bahamas. Read Miss, you guys are legends. Lee Hang, I think, for CryptoCube. Second shout out to you. Doug Phil, you're a first timer too as well, man. Wait, hold on. Some accounts you've liked. Okay, nice. You've been here for a while, but it's your first time posting your wallet number. Thanks, bro. Knowledge, and then I already read you, shouted you out. Duple fan, clicker, always killing it, man. Peace. Thomas, Dexton, Didi, Hummus. Crypto Surfers as always. I think these other people have already given shout outs. Yep. All of you guys are giving a shout out to. Oh, Aaron B. Infinity, man. That's Infinite Wins. If you guys don't know, he was the first guy to complete the course this week. He's going to get the grand prize. Congratulations, Infinite Wins. Always killing it, bro, every week. Sorry, guys, I didn't do any spins today. We had the interview thing that took a little bit longer, which is totally fine. And I'll be doing more spins next week. I'm going to be doing a lot next week, guys. We got the Halloween event, or we're going to do a Halloween event course, and then we're going to have a Halloween waifu on. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And the course of pumpkin carving. Watch the moon. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, shout it out, all you guys. Oh, check it out. Check it out. Dude, I can't read your name, bro. Epic name. But, yo, look at you, bro. Cool. Oh, you're going to get a shiny version. Man, look at wow. Wow, your drip is dope. I'm sorry if I misgendered you. Looks like you might be a girl. Great job. Great job. Girl, guy, I don't know who you are, but regardless, you're looking amazing. Great drip. I've never seen that. I don't know if those are wings, but they're dragons touching. Okay, I'm going to try to pronounce your name. Hexui. wow, like phenomenal, and it looks really cool with that fox behind you. What an epic! You know what? I'm gonna definitely retweet that. That is legendary picture. Thanks for completing the course. That to me is phenomenal. She's as well. Thank you. Shout out to you, Twitter boy. What's going on again, bro? Fab. I already looking out, Pico. Don't worry, man. I know you're at work, but we still got you on that NFT. And Pico, thanks for being engaged, bro. I know every week and every day you're hitting us up about the waifu mons, and we're getting them to you. You're a legend, bro. I really appreciate you enjoying the collection, man. Lauren, Mika, Mahavens. Sorry, bro, if I said your name wrong. Reda Farf, but you're great. Mintran Javier. Yo, 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 you be. Look at this guy. Oh, wait. Are these different, three different people, or are you just trying to troll me, bro? Well, these are three different wallet numbers, so if you're trolling me, bro, you're doing a great job because you're gonna get three NFTs. So, I mean, I can't. I mean, you have this all the three same peg, but maybe it's just you guys are doing like a meme horde or something. But they're different wall numbers, different names. So I got you, bro. Don't trip. And if you are trolling me, then your troll is worth it. You get three waifu months. Pot Summoner, Jennifer, Emmy, Garth. I gave you a shout out to, and Edward. Thank you guys all so much for coming. Shout out to everybody. So next week, yes, guys, I'm ending the stream. This is my pumpkin. I was drawing it slash doing a course at the same time. This is my artwork. We're gonna probably put like the waifumon in the middle, put the pumpkins around it. Just basically what we did for last final shout out to. Sorry guys, it's running late. Bat Shatner. We did the epic waifumon for him. So I'll give you guys just one last for people that didn't see the beginning of the stream, or if you guys are watching this later on and you're skipping around, which a lot of you do. Let's take a look at this. I want to give you guys one more because I'm really happy of the community about this. To be honest, this was really, to me, like I was just, again, kind of afraid because I was like DMing everybody, and I know everybody's busy, but man, you guys all really came through. So shout out to you all, man, for signing this NFT for us to give to Bat Shatton and everybody in the community. It came out great, man. It really did. I think we counted earlier in the stream, 58 of you did it. So shout out to everybody because I know that you guys, like, listen, I know you guys took the time out to literally figure out a way to do font or put it on, there's all these little barriers of trying to figure out how to put font on this. You guys came through. Shout out to you all. The captain is back, fam. The king has returned. He hit me up, I think, in the, actually, he didn't just hit me up. He hit all of us up in the Twitch. No, not Twitch. Sorry, guys. My brain's off. TikTok. Discord. He hit us up. Check it out on the Discord. You'll see Bat Shatner in the house. He's saying he's coming back. He's here and he's doing well. So I think thank you guys, everybody, for signing the waifumon to lift his spirits, man. That really was, to me, was a big deal, and I really appreciate you guys looking out for one of our own. So we're going to do the pumpkins like that, maybe put a bunch of pumpkins around the waifumon. I know, I can't remember your name, but one of you guys has been in the Discord nonstop asking about a pumpkin face waifumon. So don't worry, man. This is for you, bro. This is what we're doing for you. But thank you guys all for coming. Last shout out to Sways. Man, dude, that sword is an OG sword, bro. I got that too as well. Back in the day, man, you are rocking it. Oh, wait, no, what am I talking about, bro? This is Sways. Yo, what's up? Sways is doing what he said and rocking the neck beard drip. What a legend. Fedora, sword, and all. So long story short, guys, I was talking to Sways earlier, and he was talking about the waifumon shirt, and he was like, "Say, dude, that you pulling off the neck beard look perfect." He goes, "I got a fedora and I got a katana." He's like, the whole drip together is gonna be like the perfect look, and he's doing it, bro. That's so funny, man. Yeah, my brain is so off, dude. To be honest, man, I didn't even recognize you because I'm so used to seeing you with the mohawk. I just totally spaced on the fact that I saw you with a fedora, and I didn't connect the dots. So, bro, shout out to you for coming through on your plan, man. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, if you didn't post your wallet number in the comments below, so I can give you guys all the NFTs. Looking forward to this week, guys. Halloween events, Metaverse Festival next month, man. Gonna be so much fun. Till next time, guys.